everybody, and welcome to the first ever Arrow video reviews. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I've got an awesome show for you. We're gonna start with a Arrow Academy movie, and as you can see, what it is. It is a gas food lodging. I decided to go with the Arrow Academy movies because I want to try to get into them a little bit. There's some really good ones, and then there's ones that I'm not sure about, and I'd love to just check those out too. But I also want to build up my collection, so I was like, I've got a few already. So that's I think what we're gonna be starting with on our reviews. So gas food lodging. Oh, there you go. And then if you look at the back, it's got some great stuff on it. Hoping you can, yep, see what that is if you pause it. Um, So let's get into this. I had not seen this film yet until I watched it recently because of this review. And I mean I wanted to. Like, trust me. There's been times like I've been like I was like, what is that movie? Gas Food Lodging. What is that about? And I thought it was a road trip movie. Um, even the way it kind of shows that, like it looks like it's a road trip movie. So I was like, okay, so it's a road trip movie with like three women. Okay, interesting. Then I come to find out because I didn't know anything going in. Did not read the back. I didn't really know. I knew that Brooke Adams, I own Sky, and was it Fios? God, Feruza Balk, who I love in The Craft, and I love in a bunch of other movies. That she's Waterboy. You know, she's just fantastic. But this was like her first like big break. You know, and this was a 1992 film. I think it was probably shot in 91. But it was 92. They did it for they put it out for Sundance. It came out then, and the 1992 Sundance, which had like fucking I think El Mariachi came out that year, and bunch of fucking Laws of Gravity, tons of great freaking movies came out that year. Like 92 was great for indie film. And from what I understood, Allison Anders, who wrote this movie, it was sort of like part of that world. Somebody told me she dated Quentin Tarantino, which blows my mind. Like I could totally see that, but like just blows my mind to think about two excellent indie filmmakers getting together. And I don't know if it's true. Don't quote me on that. If it's not true, sorry, I'm not trying to send false information. It's just what I've heard. Um, so so anyway, gas food lodging. The movie's about these three women, a mother and two daughters, and it's based on a book. But I watched a interview with Allison Anders, and she actually mentioned that like she pretty much threw away the book in a way. Like she kind of just did her own thing with it and kind of took took pieces, but like it was shot. It's supposed to be like the book takes place in like Chicago, and this is New Mexico, and all these other things. I thought Alice Anders was from New Mexico or something. That's why she shot there. No, but she wanted it to have like some kind of really good feel, and it was beautifully shot. I mean, I've been through New Mexico. I went to Albuquerque twice. You know, on my way to California and on my way back. And on my way to California, I got to spend a little bit more time there. Coming back, I didn't sadly. Um, but it was excellent. Like I thought it was like beautifully shot. The never even noticed that the moon at the bottom there. But I picked this scene right here for my backdrop because I mean, come on now, it's classic scene. If you haven't seen it, it's probably yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. Like I'm not gonna give you guys any like hard hitting spoilers or whatever. I'm just gonna say that this movie definitely is a film that I feel revolutionized the indie film scene because it went to show what you can do on a low budget. and what you can accomplish on a low budget, right? I mean, this wasn't a huge budget. This wasn't like $20 million or something. This was pretty, I don't know how much. I'm not sure exactly, but probably maybe a couple million at most, And it was not meant to be this big budget blockbuster thing. It's just supposed to be a really nice film about it's like a slice of life in a way. It's a slice of, American life. It's these women dealing with their men issues. Fairuza Balk wants her mom to be happy and to have a man in her life. And what she doesn't know is her mom, I guess I'm gonna go into a little bit of spoilers. But she doesn't know her mom is sort of seeing another guy, and it's the exact guy she wants her mom to be with. It's kind of funny. And ironic. Meanwhile, their dad is back in town. She doesn't know that. And Ione Skye's character has met basically the perfect guy for her. And unfortunately, he sort of disappears. So, um, there's just so much stuff that happens in the movie, and you have to watch it, and you have to just. I feel like it's one of those movies that if you haven't seen it, it sort of just, kind of sucks you into the world, into this like small town universe kind of thing where it is just fun and you like all the characters. Like I think that is what I love about it the most is like you could really make one of these three women unlikable, especially on your own Sky's character. You could make her very unlikable. And at times, they kind of do make her a little unlikable at times, but it's perfect because then later you start to really like her. So you look at this and you're like, what in the world is going on here? Why is Ione Sky uh so like such a bitch? And then later you find out more about her and you figure out like there's more to her. There's a three-dimensional character in her. And it was nothing like her role in Say Anything. Fairuza Balk has never played anything close to the kind of character she played in this movie. Brooke Adams, I don't think has ever played anything like this at all. It's got James Brolin. I almost said Josh, which is his son, but James Brolin is in it. David Lansbury. Oh my God, he was great in this. Donovan Leitch was in it. Oh man, from Cutting Class and a bunch of other stuff. Um, yeah, so let's see. Chris Mulkey. Chris Mulkey. Just everybody, all the men in this movie, were perfect. You know, they all did what they needed for this film, and they all accomplished it very well. When I listened to the interview, Allison kind of said what she wanted to do was play everybody against the types that they normally play. So, like Ione Sky, different than Say Anything. Um, James Brolin at that time was a big TV actor. He wasn't a big film star at the time. Like later, I think he had done Amityville, the first Amityville movie, but aside from that, I don't think he had really blown up. He might have done movies, but he wasn't like a huge movie star at that time. So. But this was, I mean, if anything, he should have gotten an Oscar for this role. Like, and Brooke too. Ione should have got like Emmys. All of these women should have gotten something for this, like awards, because they did such a great job. Like I said, this is one of the movies that kind of went down to Sundance and kind of made Allison Anders into like a name. Uh, she did right after this. What was the other movie? She did another uh it was so she had done Gatsby Lodging, and then um I think there was another big indie movie that she had done. She was talking about something, and I want to really talk about this. Mi Vida Loca. I thought that's what it was called. Mi Vida Loca, which is My Crazy Life. And that I remember watching some of it when I was younger, and I don't think I got into it. And I really want to rewatch that. But she also did Four Rooms with Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, and whatnot. And so I gotta talk about this. So Allison Anders, one of the, kind of prolific directors of that, kind of she was part of a big movement, indie movement. She was um so she was part of this crazy world where we don't really see it now because Hollywood has kind of eaten up. And I'm gonna blame this. I'm gonna blame technology. And this is honestly, this is the problem. Everything's gone digital, so it makes everything so much easier to obtain. So somebody can make an easy $20,000 movie, right? So most of the time they make $20,000 horror, $50,000 or whatever, kind of thing. And sometimes that does really well, like paranormal activity. Sometimes it doesn't do very well. Sometimes it does Terrifier, like Terrifier 2 did very well. Uh, Dramas need like these people, they need a stars to be like interested. Nobody, and I'm guilty of this too. I'll go to Tubi and I'll see like a drama, and I'll notice nobody's name I know, and I'll be like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to take a chance on it. And that's the problem. And maybe I should start not doing that and maybe taking chances on these movies because you might find some gems. Um, but most likely won't. And that's the thing is like drama is really, really hard to portray well on, you need stars. You need these people. These three women are stars. Like they were wonderful. They were wonderful actors. Like they did their job. So, um, the problem with, you know, the digital age is like you could have like a red camera or whatever, but and rent it out. But really, you need more money these days for a good movie to get into Sundance or something. You know. Also, Sundance isn't the thing it used to be. Sundance has sort of become this thing where you have to sort of be famous to already get in. There's very few people who have made a movie that Sundance goes, I don't know who the fuck you are. Come on in, enjoy me, join us. And I think it's because back in the 90s, it was run by like Robert Redford for sure. Like he was in charge of a lot of stuff. And now I think it's run by people who are just sort of um they're just sort of looking for the attention that it can bring to the thing instead of looking for what could possibly be like the movie that makes somebody super famous, for doing it. And I think if they got back to that, we might we might see a different resurgence of filmmakers. There are right now in this world, the filmmakers that are kind of making it big are making independent horror films. Or so. There was the guy who did I think he did Clown, but he John Watts did Spider-Man. I think he had done a horror film, and then he also did a Kevin Bacon cop movie, I believe. And then there was like all these other directors. James Wan is a big horror director. He did a lot of horror, and then all of a sudden he's doing Aquaman. You know, um, the guy who directed the first Doctor Strange ended up going back and doing horror after getting in dispute about Doctor Strange 2. He went back to horror where, the horror people are very forgiving and they're very loving and everything. Uh so but what I'm saying about that is, we don't have it, Robert Rodriguez is doing um was it Star Wars now. But it started with him being in Sundance. And I think if we got back to making where Sundance I'm on my soapbox. I'm sorry. I'm on my box that says soap on it right now because I am just very passionate about the fact that a movie like this needs to get made again. Um, I just don't see it happening, weirdly enough. Um, I just don't see indie films like this. Maybe A24 would take a chance on it, but like A24 takes chances like this. But generally speaking, most of the filmmakers that work on A24 movies have already done something big enough where A24 is interested in Kevin Smith with Tusk or you know, the people Bo Burnham do the eighth grade, the girl who did Lady Bird, amazing movie by the way. If you've not seen that movie, I love it. And it's kind of like this, it's a very slice of life story. It doesn't involve like this crazy, stuff or whatever. It just has very simple story and characters that you really get into. So maybe A24. But that being said, other than that, and those go to Sundance because A24 is a name, as a Hollywood name. Those movies go to Sundance. So what you got to do is you have to make another movie that's sort of in that world. Now, I could be completely wrong. And if I am, and you guys are like, this guy's a lunatic, he's crazy, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Okay, I will admit that sometimes I probably don't. I just feel very passionate about the fact that I think, honestly, we need more movies like this. We need more movies that are about the characters. You get involved and you get sucked in because that is what that's what we need. We don't need gunshots and special effects and all of that stuff all the time. Now, those movies do very well in Hollywood, and I love them. I watch them, so I can't say that I just watched one like a few minutes ago. I totally get it. What I'm saying is a movie like this, if it gets out again, like Gas Food Lodging, and I'm not saying Gas Food Lodging 2, but I'm saying like a movie like this that is just so sweet and caring and visually good looking, they cared. They wanted you to see how beautiful New Mexico was. Great shots. There was the caves that they shot in, all that stuff. Wonderful. Like I loved it. This there needs to be another one of these. And so I hope more people make movies like that. And once again, A24. If A24 is out there making these kind of things happen for people, awesome. I'm just saying yeah, I would say somebody should make another movie like, in the vein of this kind of movie and then go off and, make that. Because like I love it. I want it kind of inspires me as a filmmaker to want to go out and shoot something like this. I'm not going to right now because I've got a million other things to do, but I eventually do want to. I eventually would want to make a movie that's sort of, just a sweet, down to earth, nice movie where you care about the characters and you want to see what happens. And that is what. So sorry for being on my soapbox and talking about gas food lodging like that, but thank you, Arrow Academy, for putting this out. I know Criterion put out her first movie, Border Radio, but only on DVD. Sadly, I don't know if it's going to get a Blu-ray release at all. So if you know that answer, please comment below. But Allison, I know she mentioned something about how it's really hard for her to get a movie made these days. We all feel the struggle, you know. Sadly, it's just not the same as it was back in the 90s. And I I'm gonna blame digital technology because it's just so much easier for people to go make a movie. Uh, and suck, honestly, because they don't have the right people involved. Um, you know, than it is for somebody to go and take their time and make something as freaking just wonderful as this movie. So check it out. Once again, it's got like a brand new interview with Allison Anders and Josh Olson. And it's got a documentary called Cinephile Real Women, which looks at a documentary looking at the challenges women face in this film industry from independent to studio filmmaking and features interviews with Allison, as well as Catherine Bigelow, Jane Campion, Penny Marshall, Gail Ann Hurd, and others. Like that right there is like almost like a um film school in itself. So I buy this movie if you get a chance. It is well worth it. I am so glad it's in my collection. It's gonna stay here. I'm gonna watch it over and over again, I'm sure. This movie made me cry, made me laugh. It made me so involved. I wanted to know what was going to happen next. Like, I was at the edge of my seat at times. Like, I was like, "Oh crap, what's going on here?" There was so much to happen, and I loved it. If you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, please do. You will not regret the movie. Regret that at all. So please check it out. But till then, everybody, join me next month where I'll be doing another Arrow Academy movie. I'm not sure which one it is yet because I got a couple that I want to do. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do first, but sorry about that. But yes, I love this, and let me know what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy this? And we'll talk soon. All right, bye.